Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create this number of buildings using the perspective tool. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a new document of any dimension, but then in this case, I used 1920 by 1080. Okay, so now we're going to create a couple of shapes. So this is going to form our wall. And then we're going to change the color right away to a brown color or any color of your choice. Okay, so we're going to start creating the windows now, but then we're going to create this shape to form the base, and then we're going to add more detail to give it a window look. So we're going to select all of this. We're going to group and duplicate it a couple of times. Okay, so now we're going to select all of it, and then we're going to align it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to create our air condition. Okay, so we're going to create these basic shapes to form the air condition shapes. So basically this is going to make the building look a lot better. Okay, so now that we are done, we're going to drag and select everything, and then Ctrl G to group, and then we're going to position this outside the work area. We're going to duplicate it a number of times, and now this is very important, so make sure you duplicate it a couple of times. So now we're going to add the perspective. So we've added the perspective, so you can see if this happens to be the first time, using the perspective tool is very simple. All you need to do is just to observe and pay close attention. So now we have the 1-point perspective, we have the 2-point perspective, and then the 3-point perspective. Okay, but the one we are currently working with is a 2-point perspective, and it is set by default to be 2-point perspective. So you can adjust it like so by dragging this point up. Then you can drag it that way as well. Okay, then you can just make it look better by just simply dragging it down. Then you can adjust it this way, or you can drag everything by dragging that point right there. You can drag it either down to give it a different perspective, or take it up. Okay, I'm going to leave it this way. Then you can drag it up to add to the perspective. And then you can increase the side by dragging it this way, and then equally drag to increase that side as well. Okay, so you can basically see what we have. So with this tells you this is the left grid, this is the right grid, and then this is the horizontal grid at the bottom. Okay, so the blue, which is the left grid, if you have it selected and then you select the perspective tool, now if you drag this up, you can see how it aligns in perspective. So all you need to do is just to adjust it. Okay, so we're going to add this to the left grid again, or we can just simply change it to the right perspective and then drag it up. The right perspective is in orange color, so we just position it this way. So we're going to repeat the same process for the remaining duplicate that we have, but so far you can see what we have looking very interesting. Okay, so depending on which part of the grid you have selected, you can place your shape, then it's going to align. This is definitely on the right perspective. Okay, so now that we are done, so the next thing we're going to do is to duplicate one part of the wall And now it depends whether you are using the perspective tool or not. You can use your normal tool, duplicate, and then position it there. Okay, now this has nothing to do with the perspective tool. You can even toggle it off. Okay, all right, so you can see that we've toggled off the perspective tool. So we're just duplicating one part to just give this building a 3D look and feel. So you can see we have added that part by duplicating one part of the building. So we're going to repeat the same process across. So we'll duplicate that part. So we'll just position it right there, then add another. Then we're going to scale it down. Interesting. Okay, so we just make the slight adjustment. So one thing that is very crucial here is that if you notice, the face is actually lying above the other part of the building. We want this to be behind. So to do that, we're going to hold down Control Shift and then press the left square bracket, take it to the back, and then you're done. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Control Shift and then the left square bracket to send it to the back. Okay, so now that we are done, basically we have it in the same color. Okay, so we're going to now change the colors. All right, so now that we are done, we're going to create the road, okay, with a pen tool. Okay, add all the anchor points. Now we're going to change the color to black. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to fill up the gap behind by creating this shape. Okay, let's just add an anchor point here using the pen tool to drag it down. So now we can basically send this to the back. So this is going to act as the background for the other building behind. So select this and remove the stroke. Now we're going to create our sky. Very simple. So we'll just give it this color and then we're going to send it to the back. All right, so this is interesting, but we'll make it more interesting by adding a gradient. Okay, and then we're going to give it, let's remove the stroke, bring the fill forward, and then let's add an interesting colors in the gradient. Okay, so here we're going to give it more like a sky blue color. Okay, then here we're going to give it a darker blue color. Interesting. So we're going to change it to radial from linear. Okay, so currently it's on linear. We're going to change it back to radial. And then we're going to bring our mouse cursor here. Okay, so once the cursor changed to this, I'm going to drag it up like so. Interesting. So we are done. So I'll see you guys in the next video.